jackpot winner. Happening! Woo! Look at this, man. They are starting to bite here. To the limit. That jig worked for you guys. Beautiful. Nice going. Love it. Yeah, thank you. Nice. Way to go. 2 fish. Way to go, guys. Legal fish. Beautiful, man. Good job, buddy. Oh, on the squid. Beautiful, man. What, huh?
What's up? Another fish right here.
Beautiful. Good job. Here. El Patron. Aren't they? Nice.
Over 100 white sea bass on this incredible trip. You're looking at the deck of the Coral Sea out of Santa Barbara Sea Landing as they had an absolutely mind-boggling good trip. Incredible fishing as the white sea bass were biting anything you threw at them. They had 102 white sea bass, 20 halibut, and look, a bluefin tuna to go along with it. More bluefin are pushing in to the 805 area. The Channel Islands are on fire. Awesome fishing last night for San Diego-based boats as the big fish are back on the bite again. Bluefin tuna biting the iron in frenzied action. You're looking at the deck of the Pacific Voyager with our dear friend Captain Max Nui. They had an incredible bite, as did several other boats. Many boats reporting limits, and many of the fish now are in the 80 to 100 plus pound category. You sank a jig down last night, you got a bite. 80-pound Spectra helps to sink your jig down faster. Great fishing. It appears that the full moon lull is over. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California, where the surf is up here this morning on this beautiful Monday morning. It is great to be with you. I want to thank all the great folks that we had on board the El Patron last night for some exceptional Twilight sand bass fishing. That was so much fun. It was so great to hang with so many great people. We sold that trip out in a matter of hours, and it was great having you on board. Over on the Native Sun, by the way, our friend Sam De La Torre was over there with his son Diego, and they were having some fun fishing also. Man, I got to tell you, fishing is absolutely insane here in Southern California and in Mexico, for that matter, and we're going to cover it all. A boat with over 100 white sea bass, and then they throw a bluefin and 20 halibut to boot. Tremendous fishing in the Channel Islands, and what a night bite on the bluefin tuna last night. Big fish, chewing big time. It was fantastic. It looks like we're through that full moon foolishness, that lull that we seem to get when we have a full moon on the bluefin tuna. So that was on the bite. We have some exceptional local fishing, kelp patty, yellowtail moving up, outstanding long-range fishing, and so much more. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. God, is that good? And is it great to be here with you all? I have paid some surfers to entertain you in the background. We go to no expense to make sure the morning briefing is exciting for you every single day. Wow, what fishing we're going to get into with you right now. If you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. Make sure you subscribe to the Freedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that rotten, filthy little bell. My water feels a little chilly this morning. And you'll be notified when there's new content. You can also follow us on Facebook, TikTok, on Instagram, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Man, is it great to be with you all, and what tremendous fishing we've got going on. Let's talk about Mexico here. And man, there's some great fishing. Cedros Island, not only providing better and better yellowtail action almost every single day now, but there's white sea bass, there's halibut, and there's insane calico bass fishing going on there. Down at San Quintin, 140 miles down below the border, we have seen nothing short of outstanding yellowtail action. But outside of there, there's bluefin tuna, and there's more dorado, and there's more yellowfin tuna. All of this, we're hoping, has got its nose pointed for Southern California. When we look down there at 140 miles so many times, that's a preview of things to come here in SoCal. I think we're just hitting our stride, and it can't get much better than it is right now. Fabulous fishing going on in Ensenada. The bluefin tuna bite there has been spectacular, and they're catching some yellowfin tuna and a few more dorado being seen on the kelps there. We're seeing a steady flow of yellows moving up this way. We caught them off Oceanside, off San Onofre a couple days ago with private boaters getting in on some of that. Charles Webb from Stoke for Life, he's down in the East Cape right now at Palmas de Cortez. They've had some windy weather down there. It's been off and on fishing. It hadn't been all that great, but he's going to come up here and hit these kelps. So we'll have Charles doing some reporting for us on that. Great bluefin tuna fishing in Ensenada. Excellent mixed grade fish. You get some 8-pounders, 15-pounders. You get mostly 40 to 60 pounders. You get some up over 100 pounds, and there's some bigger ones than that lurking around. There's good barracuda fishing, good calico and sand bass fishing, plenty of rockfish, and some yellows under the birds in Ensenada. Also, I don't know how you can beat that. The Independents on their 8-day trip arrived down in the zone, over 400 miles, like 500 miles down below. Had excellent yellowtail action in the afternoon, mixed up with some 40 to 50 pound yellowfin tuna. So yellows and yellowfin tuna, and it can't get much better than the long range scene right now. For all the boys, it's been absolutely incredible. Steady yellowfin tuna fishing, steady yellowtail fishing. They even caught a couple of wahoo on the Independence the other day. First of the 8-day season this year. In other words, the first wahoo caught on an 8-day trip or less this year. That also bodes well for things to come. We have an 8-day trip on the Independence in November, and I'm already looking forward to it, as so many of you are also. All right, let's talk about our local bluefin tuna. And when I say local, I'm talking from down there at 140 miles all the way up to San Nicolas Island, because we are seeing fish in all those zones. They're starting to bite. They're big time fish. I mean, there's a lot of 100-plus pound stuff running around right now. 80-pound spectras, plenty of pulling power, and your jig will sink faster with a tomahawk. Limits of bluefin tuna out of San Diego. Several other boats like the Royal Polaris all over it, and the Max Nui. What a night he had last night. Full speed, big bluefin tuna biting the jigs last night on the Pacific Voyager out of C4 Sport Fishing. Man, I'll tell you, you look at the deck, you can see the grade, and you can see what those guys went through last night on that trip. Absolutely phenomenal. I mentioned the 80-pound spectra, the jigs that were working last night in the 300 to 350 gram range. The weather has been vacillating between a little bit windy and pretty nice. You don't want to be scoped out. You want to be up and down, straight up and down. That is the way you're going to get a bite. But man, last night, it was phenomenal. Even lighter jigs, like 200-gram jigs, were working last night. There still are bluefin tuna being taken in the daytime. That gets better and better and better, as we've been telling you all year long. As we push further into the summer and ultimately into the fall, you'll see great bluefin tuna fishing in the daytime. And the way things are looking, it may get mixed up with some YFT, some yellowfin tuna, Dorado, and so much more. I love what we're seeing right now. The El Dorado, while we were down in Long Beach last night, waiting to board our Twilight trip on the El Patron, man, the guys that came in from the El Dorado said, Phil, that was one heck of a trip. Fishing up there near San Nicolas Island, 33 big bluefin tuna biting at night. Fantastic hit for the El Dorado out of course, Long Beach Sport Fishing. And they had 7 yellows and a white sea bass. Heck, they had lingcod and all kinds of other stuff to go along with it. It can't get any more positive than it is right now. We went through that full moon lull, or whatever the heck it was. There's no doubt about that. But now I think we are fully out of it, and it is biting really, really well. Outstanding fishing. Still, most of the guys are having chovy right now. Sometimes you'll get some sardine, but you got to be ready in the daytime. At night you're fishing jigs. In the daytime to fish with a chovy. And some of you may opt for a spinning reel to make that long cast. Other of you are proficient with a conventional reel, can make a long cast and get your bait away from the boat. That's the way to do it. A small little sliding egg sinker will help in many, many cases. I defer to the crew. Smaller hooks like a 2 or 4 hook will help you to get a bite in the daytime. Man, Absolutely spectacular bluefin tuna fishing right now. I don't know how it can get much better. We're looking at our islands down there at the Coronado Islands. Not too many boats are fishing it right now. There's some yellowtail, there's some bass, there's some barracuda biting there, but most guys are starting to fish this offshore stuff because we have some bluefin as close as 25 miles from Point Loma, 40 miles, 140 miles, all the way up to Nick. It's incredible what is going on. We take a look at San Clemente Island, and man, it's a mix of fish. You've got a pretty good bite on some smaller grade yellows on the front side of the island. You can chase bird schools around there. Some days they bite, some days they don't. Surface iron fish. You got some pretty good calico bass fishing around the back. Dropper loop fishing for some superior grade yellowtail, white sea bass, and halibut. May not be huge numbers on most days, but you still get a good piece of it. And we are liking what we are seeing. There's some really excellent scores. And the Channel Islands, oh my God, they are still talking about yesterday's trip on the Coral Sea. As far as I'm concerned, you could talk about it for years to come, but we've seen a lot of these kind of trips this year. What a trip. 102 white sea bass on the Coral Sea, 20 halibut. They also had a bluefin tuna to just punctuate the fact that this bluefin is starting to push up into the northern regions right now, and that is absolutely fantastic, man. We are loving it. Several other boats getting in on some great white sea bass fishing. That was a remarkable catch, no doubt about it. The Gray Light, 3 anglers on the Gray Light, 10 white sea bass, and 8 halibut. And how about some private boater catches that were absolutely phenomenal? Paul Yamaski. Paul, what a fish, pushing 50 pounds on that flatfish. He was out with Tony Yomori, and Tony had a fish, a halibut, pushing 30 pounds. Great going, guys. There's been some absolutely phenomenal private boater catches up there on halibut and white sea bass, and we are certainly seeing those kind of scores up there. It has been fantastic. There's a couple of the halibut that were caught on board the Mirage yesterday at a Cisco Sport Fishing in Oxnard. 97 halibut on the Mirage. Wow! Reminder to you all that the Island Spirit Ventura Sport Fishing focusing her attention on halibut on Wednesdays. They've had some really good scores here lately on the flatfish, and there's a lot of nice fish around. You can get on board the Island Spirit by going to www.venturasportfishing.com. Highly recommend you do it. Kids fish free on Sundays. 805-676-3474. Pretty good stuff. Hey, I forgot to mention that the full day boats out of San Diego are also getting a good piece of that bluefin tuna. Yesterday was a little bit slower on the Grande. 41 guys, 10 yellows, and a bluefin tuna. But they are seeing a lot of fish. And since that light switch went on and started to bite at night, that's going to bite here, maybe even today. There's been some decent scores at times on that fish. You're fishing with anchovy. So again, get that lighter tackle ready to go, unless you run into that big fish. And that's when you're going to want to switch over to, like, 50-pound. Throw one of those poppers, tuna, riot poppers work good, or the small shiny jigs, Dawasakana, 80 to 120 gram jigs. You can fish heavy, you'll only get a bite on that. You'll be better off. All right, really great fishing going on. We'll carry it up and just mention that Avila Beach up there in Morro Bay, great rock fishing. San Francisco, striped bass, as well as good halibut fishing up there in that area. How in the world can it get any better? I forgot also to mention, on board the Old Glory last night, they had 4 of those big fish. They had a lot of casualties, but here recently, our buddy James Dean on the trip prior to that, he said they had the big fish chewing big time. Bluefin tuna, they had a 250 plus pound fish. They estimate that they fought for several hours. James Dean said everybody on the boat got to pull on that monster. He ended up personally with 4 bluefin tuna over the 100-pound mark. How, I ask, can it get any better than that? Our local bite, we are seeing some really good stuff going on. San Diego, the sand bass bites been fantastic for the 1/2 and 3/4 day guys down there fishing a chovy with a dropper loop rig, or you can fish a sliding egg sinker. Sometimes those fish are suspended way up in the water column. It has been really, really excellent fishing. No doubt about that. David Yamori, I believe, running the Southern Cal. My friend Jolene Thompson sent me a beautiful photo of a 7-pound fish out of Oceanside. And David is one heck of a great captain. He does a great job, great customer service, and some big sand bass down there in that neck of the woods. As I mentioned, just offshore from there, there's some kelp patty yellowtail going on. We'll keep our eyes on that for you very, very closely. Walking up the coast, just great local fishing. Dana Wharf, down there on the freelance out of Davies Locker, we continue to see. Now, the daytime bite in the LA Orange County area has sputtered a little bit here on the sand bass, but the nighttime fishing has been good. Daytime's still okay, and this could be a temporary lull. Maybe it's a full moon funk on these local sand bass in the daytime. There's plenty of them around, so I suspect that that's going to get going again. That's Jason, a.k.a. Manila Ice Cream, with a great catch of sand bass on board the Freelance. Last night's Twilight bite on board the El Patron. What a great trip it was. So many highlights, and of course for me, on a personal level, it was just hanging with so many great Friedman Adventures fans. I love you guys. We're going to drop the video from last night just a little bit later today, and we had so much fun. Was not wide open. The wind was up. It was a little bit of victory at sea last night, but slowly but surely we started picking away, started catching more sand bass, and there was some really nice fish that were taken last night. Perhaps the best angler, and I don't want to create any controversy here, but Daphne was out with us last night, a great Friedman Adventures family member. She was off to a little bit of a slow start, and then all of a sudden, boom, she hooks a fish. She hooks another fish. She starts looking at me and saying, they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This is before they were coming on board. She could tell while she was winding these fish up. She ends up catching the jackpot fish on board the El Patron, and it was a lot of fun. And all the guys out there, including Pedro, who was involved in the jackpot weigh-off at the end, Pedro was cheering her on for being such a great person, being so thoughtful, and really an excellent angler. Way to go, Daphne. That was fun stuff last night. As I mentioned, the Native Sun had limits last night also out of 22nd Street Landing, and Diego was on board that. Diego de la Torre, son of Sam de la Torre from Island Fishing Tackle. And of course, I'll be seeing Sam in a few more hours on Tackle Shop Confessions live tonight from beautiful Island Fishing Tackle. 4 o'clock we'll be live from 22nd Street Landing with the Danny Cadota Show in the midst of absolutely outstanding and wonderful fishing. How on earth can it get much better than this? In the Southern California surf, I'm going to point you down to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California, right there on the corner of Seal Beach and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got all of your surf fishing needs taken care of. They are Southern California's surf fishing headquarters, but also you can gear up for bluefin and white sea bass and everything in between. Really a great place for you to shop. And there has been some good surf fishing action going on. Jeff Perea has been down there around Dog Beach at times. He's also been down there at the Tower, Anderson Street, Pacific Coast Highway, catching walleye perch, some short halibut. There's some more yellowfin croaker down there on Bolsa Chica, so we're seeing some pretty good fishing down there in that neck of the woods on that. And as we move you up, we're starting to see more and more corvina. It's been kind of off on the corvina over a wide area, and by that I mean we're not catching copious amounts of corvina, but slowly but surely that seems to be getting in. As the water warms, I think we'll be doing much better on that. More of that kind of stuff up there in the area around the Manhattan Beach Pier and the Hermosa Beach Pier. We've seen some really excellent fishing up there. And then we push you further up to the north, up in the Channel Islands, Ventura, Oxnard area. A lot of barred perch up there and some more corvina also in that area. Folks, wow, it is absolutely incredible. Hey, let me know how much I owe these guys. Did they catch any good waves during the morning briefing? I certainly hope so, because our budget, you know, it's not as big as it should be. By the way, millions, 10 million views in the past month when you combine all our social media and here on YouTube, and I'm under no illusion that I have much to do with that. It's all you. It's all of your great support, to which I am indebted to each and every one of you. I deeply appreciate you. I want to thank Chris Rank and Colder Ice for providing everybody on board last night with some colder ice. And I may have missed a couple of you up in the parking lot. If so, we're going to have to find a way to get together and make that happen. Great trip, a lot of fun last night. Twilight sand bass are biting. Don't forget the El Patron every Friday, Saturday, Sunday night out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, Berth 55. They are running those Twilight trips. www.longbeachsportfishing.org. The dog is working over there, Anthony Mad Dog, and he's doing a fantastic job. So proud of the great job he is doing. But it's no surprise to me. I worked with Anthony long enough to know about his work ethic and just what a great and special person he truly is. You owe me 20 bucks now, Anthony. Don't forget that. All right, my friends, take care. Don't forget 2 live shows later today. That's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to bring them. Incredible bluefin tuna fishing, white sea bass fishing that is absolutely phenomenal. It looks like we got a flow of yellows and Dorado, perhaps headed this way. Only time will tell. Take care. Have a great and beautiful Monday. I'll see you tonight for 2 live shows somewhere on this beautiful earth. I hope to see you really, really soon.